What's going on, my friends? SeanPierceJohnson here. Welcome to this week's episode of Stompbox Saturday. Technically, Saturday is the Sabbath, right? I mean, if we think about Spanish, sábado, Saturday, technically today is the Sabbath, so I guess this could be a very appropriate fuzz for the day, even though it's not Sunday, and some of you P&W guys might be a little mad about that, but that's neither here nor there. This is the Righteous Fuzz from I Am Audio Effects. I got this pedal from my friend Joel Jones at Simple Amps. He gave it to me during the NAMM show, and it's built by a friend of his who I believe I have met once before, and he gave this to me to check out, and I wanted to show it off to you guys. I always love finding pedals from companies that are just getting their start or just getting their feet wet in the effects pedal world, and this is quite an introduction for the company. So let's go ahead and throw it up on the screen and talk a little bit about what the Righteous Fuzz is. Now you can obviously see the connection of my ramblings about the Sabbath when looking at the artwork. It's a nice little old school photo painting thing of the main man, JC himself. Jesus Christ, people. That's who it is, if you couldn't gather that. But theological arguments are not going to be had on the course of this video or in the comment section below. Just not going to happen. You will be blocked if you do. So, what all do we have here on the Righteous Fuzz? We have 3 controls and a toggle switch labeled VFD and GESI. So, essentially, V, volume, your output volume. F, for your fuzz amount. Now, the D control is something that I've been trying to gather what exactly it does and what I could really call it. So, I've kind of given it a dual label. It's depth or density. Basically, what I hear when I turn this knob is that at the counterclockwise position, it's not quite a huge fuzz tone. There's a lot of fuzzy grit going on to your tone, but as you start to turn it up, it starts to fill out more. It becomes a little bit more woolly, becomes a little bit bigger. So thus, I have decided that maybe it's depth or density. So I think density might be the more appropriate term I'm going for here. Finally, the toggle switch is a toggle switch that allows you to select between germanium and silicone clipping diodes in the fuzz circuit. You heard a little bit of both at the top of the video, but we will check out each mode individually in just a little bit. So let's have a little bit of fun by plugging the Jennings Navigator into the Righteous Fuzz. We're using the orange Rockerverb 100 today into the classic PPC 212 with Celestion Vintage 30s. Let's go ahead and check out the range of these knobs with the Navigator. Let's take a closer listen to that sweep of the D knob, the density as I've decided to call it, with the fuzz turned up all the way. You can hear this is much more crisp of a fuzz tone. almost as if it's more of a distortion overdrive than going full on fuzz. But as we turn it up, we'll start to hear that difference. Very nice. Very fuzzy, woolly. I love the way that the lower gain side of it has just a little bit of that germanium goodness to it, that it just kind of adds a new vibe to the overall clean tone. Now let's go ahead and listen to the silicone side. Back to our clean tone to establish our bass line. Much thinner of a more crisp sounding fuzz than the Germanium. I'm not gonna play that one. That density control, that D control, definitely the effect comes on more apparent sooner than on the Germanium, because I feel, with my experience with fuzzes at least, is that silicone tends to be a little bit more of an aggressive sound. It can easily get thin compared to Germanium's character, which is a little bit more full and woolly sounding. Turning up that control really helps flesh it out so it doesn't feel so thin. Check out that cleanup. But it's like sputtery and just exploding. Yeah, this is pretty righteous. I would say that's a very appropriate name for it. Lots of different cool sounds that you can get out of it. Very fuzz face-like at some points, and then when we start turning up that D control, that density, as I like to call it, definitely starts to flesh out a little bit more, so we don't get that like full-on fuzz face sound. It's a little bit more than that. I dig it. I think it sounds great. And there you have it, my friends. That is just a little taste of I Am Audio's Righteous Fuzz. All sort of theological, religious leanings aside, this is a really cool pedal. I know some people will be off-put by the idea of having the face of Jesus on a pedal, but quite frankly, if you're someone like me who just appreciates what people from different walks of life are able to do in the pedal world, you definitely need to check this out. And this is a great, great pedal. Personally, I'm finding that I like it with my favorite setting more often than not, but I am very surprised with these controls just how many different sounds you can get out of it. The Germanium cleans up great with single coils, and I'm surprised that it takes the active pickups of the Jotun very, very well. Typically with high output humbuckers, I feel like fuzzes kind of fall flat. They kind of crush into them and implode on themselves under the output from the pickups. But this performed very admirably, and I am definitely looking forward to trying out whatever I Am Audio may be choosing to do in the near future. So go check them out. I know they're on Instagram, they might be on Facebook, but give them a ring and tell them you saw this video, and tell them what you thought of their Righteous Fuzz. And hey, I want to know as well, so leave me a comment in the comment section below, and please click the subscribe button, turn on some notifications, and also consider becoming a supporter on Patreon. Until next week, my friends, I'm Sean Pierce Johnson, and I wish you all out there great tone and happy stomping. Cheers.